the treatment has changed a lot. In the old days when we used to do plugs, we used to just do 50 to 80 to 100 plugs per session, but since we started to do micrografting, the results were much more natural, and I would say for the last 20 years, since the introduction of micrografting, that we've done approximately about 3,000 to 4,000 cases. I was well trained by one of the best in the world, the fellow who actually wrote the book on hair restoration, a fellow by the name of Dr. Walter Unger in Toronto. I did a postgraduate program after I finished my dermatology residency program in Toronto. The American Board of Hair Restoration, as the procedure became more and more popular with the new micrografting technique, you can now become certified in the US only by writing an extensive written and oral exam, and this has been available now for the past 10 years. So I decided, with having done this for 30 years, that I would like to be certified, and I went down to Houston about 5 years ago and did my written and orals and was successful in passing. So now I'm actually certified in the US in both dermatology and hair restoration. Well, the process is very simple. It requires a free half-hour consultation where we go over the procedure and we determine the number of grafts that patient would require, and sometimes require review the number of sessions that are required, because some of the individuals who are extensively bald will need several procedures, and that's why live consultations are I think, very, very important in this particular procedure. So it's a very simple outpatient procedure performed right in the office under local anesthetic. Because they're here for 4.5 hours, and some of the bigger sessions longer, we do use just mild oral tranquilizers. One of the old ones that we've used for years is Valium, and now we've also introduced another one which is related to Valium called Ativan. So it's quite straightforward, and most patients during the procedure are relaxing and watching television, which we have in each of our operatories. Well, once they get their procedure done, then we have a very extensive post-op instruction sheet that we send them home with. Basically, they can wash their hair 24 hours after the procedure, and I tell most people they can be back at work within a couple of days. The healing period from each procedure is about 7 days. That means until the little scabs fall off from the micrographs on the top of the head, and we take out the stitches from the back, what we call the donor area. But interestingly enough, the little follicles that we transplant from the back to the top, the little hairs fall out from the trauma of moving it from the back to the front or to the top, and the follicle remains behind, and the follicle goes into what we call a telogen or resting phase, and the new hair then doesn't surface for 3 months from the time of the procedure. So we warn people that there's nothing going to grow for the first 3 months, and then when it first starts growing, hair grows on the average a ½ inch per month. So even after 6 months, when we see them in follow-up, the hair is only going to be 1.5 inches in length. But more important, the diameter of the individual hairs are baby-like hairs, very fine, what we call vellus hairs. As the hair continues to grow in length, the shaft diameter of the individual hairs increases to more of an adult-sized hair, and that's what gives you your real density. So it takes a full year until you see the results of a hair transplant. And people like that idea because if they can camouflage their healing phase, either by taking a vacation or wearing a hat, the hair comes in so gradually that people will say to them that you look more youthful, but they'll have no idea what really was done. Oh, it's unbelievable how it transforms the majority of patients' lives. 95% of our patients, it really is a wonderful experience when you see them come for follow-up in approximately a year after the surgery and see not only the transition in their hairline, but also the change in their personality. It gives them a lot of confidence, and that's what I think what hair restoration is all about. It's all about self-confidence.